So, hey everyone, we have another amazing success. Leanne, how are you, Leanne?
Great, thanks.
I wanted to talk to you because I saw you before and after, and I just said, we need to find out what you did because it obviously worked. It was a great success. So I just wanted to find out a little bit. Are you living in California right now?
Austin, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Similar.
Yeah, real close. And then were you overweight your whole life?
Yes, I was overweight since I can remember. I remember third grade. I couldn't fit in my desk, so I had to tell my mom, and she had to go talk to my teacher about adjusting the desk. I remember wanting to learn how to ice skate, and the instructor pulled my dad aside and told him that it was kind of hard to support my weight on skates. And it was things like that all throughout my life until my early 20s. Well, actually, in high school, I did terrible kind of dieting that girls do, and it was just up and down all the time.
Wow. At the time, do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes.
Did they have a weight problem too?
No. Well, two do, two don't. So it was just it's been kind of a study for me to see a household where people have eaten the same things, and it almost felt like a why me kind of thing for a while too.
What about your parents? Do they have a weight issue?
Yes, both of them do.
Interesting.
But I was adopted, so genetics are a little different. So it's been really interesting for me to watch.
What's your nationality? Where are you from originally?
I'm Korean. I was born in Seoul, Korea, but I was adopted when I was about 3 months old.
Wow. I just one little side point. I had a patient come in. She's from Korea and very overweight. She's the only one in the family overweight. And what's really sucked for her is that her sister was Mrs. Universe.
That's like my life.
Oh, really?
My sister is she's gorgeous. She's rail thin, and it creates this. It was really hard.
Yeah, I could only imagine because, in fact, this patient, she ate so much better than her sister. But,
Right.
That's interesting. Okay, so you went along, you hit your 20s, and then what happened?
Then I tried to eat healthy and exercise. I think I was probably 220 at my heaviest, so a lot of the weight was pretty easy to lose. And then once I got to a certain weight, I kind of plateaued for years. It was up and down, but probably till about 170 is when it just plateaued, and it's just been up and down ever since.
Interesting. And what did you start? Did you find something did you find the ketosis and intermittent fasting? Did you find that recently, or is that something you've been doing for a while?
I just found it about 4 months ago. I had heard about it through a few people, and I actually found it for mental clarity. And my struggle with my weight has been all the time, and I kind of never felt like there was light at the end of the tunnel. It's kind of like I didn't know in a month from now, am I going to be 10 pounds heavier, or am I going to be 2 pounds lighter? I had no idea. It was just always a crapshoot. So I found it I cut sugar out, and then I started researching, and I found the ketogenic diet, which is so much fun. I've had so much fun with food ever since I started. And it's just, with dieting before, I felt like I was always avoiding things with no fun stuff on the other side. But now I feel like it's delicious and it's doable, and I don't feel like I'm depriving myself, and I love it.
Wow. And has it helped you in other ways, health-wise?
Oh, my anxiety. I have anxiety. I do have anxiety, and I have almost no anxiety, besides the natural anxiety, nothing crazy like I used to get. And I don't know, it's been crazy for me because it's just been so helpful with my mood. And I do intermittent fast. I fast for 16 hours and then eat for 8. And I by 11 o'clock at work in the morning, I feel like a body buzz almost, where it's so crazy. I can just feel the effects of fasting and how it feels great. And I never thought that fasting would feel good, where I just feel energy and I just feel like bouncing off of the walls with happiness. It's really weird.
That's very interesting. Now, has it helped you weight so far?
Yes, I've lost, so the first 2 months I lost weight fast. I lost probably 10 pounds in the first I'm trying to think. In the first month, I lost 10 pounds. And so I was expecting it to go at that rate. And then it's sort of plateaued. But what's been awesome about the diet is that I don't want to eat any other way. With other diets, it was like, oh, forget this. I'm not doing this anymore. It's not working. I'm going back to this or that. And now I'm just like, I love the way that I feel mentally, that I don't even care. Like, I just want to continue on this way. And I think of it this way: if I only lose 2 pounds, like every month or every other month, in a year and a half, I'm going to be where I would want to be. And I don't want to change anything because of how it makes me feel mentally.
Wow.
It makes me feel great. The anxiety, it's been, and sweating for me, I used to think that I had body temperature issues. And ever since I started the ketogenic diet, I don't drip sweat, which has been really interesting. It's just been a complete change in my body.
That's amazing. What about your size, inches? Are you finding that you're shrinking?
Yes. So I actually have no idea how much I weigh right now. I've stayed away from the scale because at one point where I was feeling absolutely great, I decided to get on the scale and it didn't move at all in a month. And I had felt inches wise that I was definitely making some progress, but I hadn't been measuring myself. So I said that I'm not going to do anything until I start measuring, because the scale seems to be not a good indicator of where I'm at based on how my clothes are fitting.
So that's just a good place to interject, because I want to talk about that. The main thing with ketosis is you want to get yourself into fat burning. But the thing is, when you do intermittent fasting, you preserve protein and muscle in the body. You actually can regrow more muscle, which is more dense. So you'll be shrinking, but the scale might stay the same. The main thing is, are you shrinking? Do you feel good? If you feel good, mentally, your hunger, cravings are gone. That means you're in ketosis, it's working. But I imagine with you, Leanne, if you had this problem your whole life and you're 18 years old now, no, just kidding. Then that means that it takes a little longer to be able to get to your goal. But yeah, if you're seeing changes along the way, man, ride the wave. And then you could always start to, okay, work on 7-hour window. Okay, good. You got that down. 6-hour window. Do it gradually. And then to your point where your 4-hour window of eating, which takes time to graduate into, but more hours of fasting. But yeah, I agree. The feeling when you're fasting, you're living off your own fat. It's mental clarity. There's less stress. There's less waste products for the brain. I mean, do you imagine how many people that could get off psych drugs if they went on this? I mean,
Right.
Prozac and Ritalin, I mean, or other psych drugs like Wellbutrin and Abilify, which is the #1 psych drug out there. It's amazing.
Well, I used to rely on Xanax sometimes for acute anxiety, and I wouldn't want to touch it because it would mess with where I'm at now, and I just feel great almost all the time that I don't want to drink. I don't want to take anything for anxiety. I don't want to do anything besides feel what I feel now. And it's almost shocking because I never thought there was a point in my life that I could get where I didn't have an edge that needed to be taken off. And it's definitely due to the ketogenic diet. And it just makes me kind of, I'm trying to be open-minded about carbs, but it almost makes me know that they just don't work for me, weight-wise and mentally.
Right. I mean, that's why I always recommend the vegetable carbohydrate, because you need the vitamins and minerals somehow, and you can get them from organ meats, but a lot of people just don't want to eat liver, kidney, and brain anymore. So then we have vegetables left, right? When did you find my videos?
Oh, Probably when I first started the ketogenic diet, so like four months ago, and they definitely were my go-to for it, because everybody has their different opinions that aren't really based on science or just based on experience, and I felt like you kind of gave me the facts. Like I didn't really have to wonder about more of an opinion. It was all just scientific facts, it felt like.
Awesome. Well, it's obviously working, and so you want to ride the wave. And so can you give me an example of what you would eat in a given meal?
For breakfast at noon, I usually eat either sausage and bacon and eggs, guacamole that I make just with avocado and salt and lime juice and a little bit of garlic powder. And then I'll do sour cream sometimes, depending on where I'm at, how I'm feeling. Sometimes I'll try to be low on fat. I've definitely learned that fat is not a target. It's funny because when I first started the ketogenic diet, I was like, fat everywhere. But I realized more that it's not a goal for the day. It's kind of just like a guide. So depending on how I feel, I'll eat the sour cream with it. And I've been trying to do more vegetables with breakfast, which is kind of hard because it seems like tomatoes and onions are the ones that I usually go with, and those are higher in carbs. So breakfast has been interesting. I've been baking kale and putting it into my scrambled eggs more, but it's definitely been a challenge to find vegetables to put into my breakfast that aren't high in carbs.
Yeah, it really is. I'll probably do a kale shake usually. And then what about for dinner? What would you have?
Dinner, my go-to is mashed cauliflower with butter and cream. I love that. And salads, a lot of taco salads. So that's just romaine lettuce with hamburger meat and guac, and usually just a little bit of salsa. Or I'll do a Cobb salad. Salads are awesome for me. And once I started the ketogenic diet, my palate became I just wanted really simple things. So it's been really easy just to buy like maybe 10 staples every week, and then just use them. I used to think about what I was going to eat all the time or where I was going to go, and it was always like Chinese or pasta or something high in sugar or carbs. And now I just eat whatever. There have been opportunities where we could go out to eat multiple times, and I could pick anywhere, and I'm like, I want to eat at home. I don't want to eat anywhere, because I just love an avocado just plain with some salt and a spoon. It's like one of my favorite things ever.
So it sounds to me like you're gravitating to healthier foods, like your body is like craving health foods.
Right, and I never thought that could be possible. It just, I think it's something that you don't understand until you feel it, because it's amazing how I just don't crave anything anymore. Especially, I used to be addicted to Sour Patch Kids and Diet Coke. Like, those are my things that and I wouldn't touch either one of those now. Or when my boyfriend doesn't do the ketogenic diet all the time, he definitely is opening his eyes. But when he orders pizza on like a Friday night, I don't want anything to do with it, and I don't even feel a fight within myself, because I wouldn't want to knock myself out of ketosis after all the work that I've put into it, and then I just love the mental clarity. So
that's so awesome. I mean, it seems to me like, if you were to summarize it up, you're more in control of what goes into your body. You're eating for health. Food's not controlling you anymore.
Right.
If someone craves the Sour Patch Kids or a lemon, that's usually a choline deficiency. And choline is the key mineral, B vitamin, to help you with a fatty liver. So it's interesting. And believe it or not, egg yolks are loaded with choline. So you would think that would be the opposite, but no, it isn't. But yeah, choline, if you actually get the supplement choline and suck on them, they taste lemony, sour and lemony. And if you take someone that likes them, like sour candy, they'll just like eat those like candy, and it's just a vitamin, it's choline. So Just a side note. Yeah, and the other thing is that I think that when you start to do a ketogenic diet and doing intermittent fasting, people generally need more dietary fat because they have a blood sugar issue and they can't go from one meal to the next. So they're going to have to increase the fat to sustain them. And then when you actually adapt to ketosis, you're burning your own fat, which you don't need to add as much, and you can just go longer because you can switch to your own fat a lot faster as your meal.
It's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I just want to say thank you for doing this this interview. I think it's going to give a lot of people just motivation to think they can do it too, especially from where you came from. It's doable, and all these extra benefits. I mean, I don't know why someone wouldn't want to jump on that and start doing it. Do you find friends or family are like looking at you like, what are you doing? And they get interested, or what? What happens with that?
Right, definitely. My best friend she started trying to ease her way into it slowly. And it was funny because when I started the ketogenic diet, my boyfriend was kind of like, what are you doing? Kind of freaking out about all the fat that I was buying and everything. And I was like, just give me a month. I was like, just let me, like, don't tell me how you feel about this. Don't knock me off track. Just give me a month. And I remember I was in the kitchen on a Friday night, and he was on the other side of the apartment, and he looked at me and he's like, oh my God. He was like, you were losing so much weight. And at the same time, I'm like eating a thing of brie, it's just been so much fun. It's almost like keto flu wasn't as bad as adapting wasn't as bad as I had thought. And it was, so I view keto as, it was absolutely amazing because the transition was really easy and my cravings went away really fast. And my family has been so I've always been dieting my whole life. So to them, this is probably like, oh, she's doing another one of these things. So this one, I've been I haven't felt the need to like preach about it like I had before. And I think it's because I'm more secure in it. I'm just like, whatever. So I'm just quieter about it because it's more fun to change quietly for me. And I noticed that people are kind of turned off by it because they just don't understand the science behind it. So they think that it's just this crazy thing that you're doing. So I feel really bad when I see people in the morning, like how I would do the same thing. I would make like a fruit smoothie with like a banana and like a strawberry, and I would end up like washing down breakfast with it instead of it being my breakfast, and I could never understand why. And just the science behind it all makes complete sense. And I don't crave the way that I used to, or I used to eat a giant meal and then I'd want ice cream and cookies, and I couldn't understand it. It just didn't make sense. And now it makes complete sense to me, and that's what helps keep me away from sugar, is that I don't ever want to feel that way ever again, because it's like this blind hunger that you just don't get, you don't understand. No matter how much you eat, you can still be hungry. And it was amazing.
That's some good advice. For some people that have been overweight their whole life and they've dieted so many times in their menopausal, I will tell them to do this, but then to shoot for just one meal a day, just because their thyroid's so weak and they can actually be so efficient on small amount of calories. So I do put a series of, a handful of people on one meal a day, and they basically thrive. They do great, and they get their body back. But that's one thing you could do if you absolutely do not have any more metabolism. You tried everything and nothing's worked. You want to start 3 meals, no snacks, 2 meals, no snacks, 2 meals within a 4-hour window, and then eventually 1 meal over a period of months, and then that will work for them. So for those of you watching, you might want to try that.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for doing this, and I think it's an amazing transformation, and we'll have to do another one of these maybe in several months from now, and just kind of see the changes until you're totally 100% satisfied with okay, I hit my ultimate goal.
Right. And it's awesome because before I was in a hurry to get to my goal, and of course I want to stay focused doing this, but I'm not, I think people are in a hurry sometimes because it's either one or the other. It's like, if this is not working for me right now, I'm going to go eat my Sour Patch Kids and drink my Diet Coke. And I just feel like this is the most steady thing that I've done, where I just feel confident in what I'm doing, and I feel great along the way, that if it happens to be a year and a half instead of 6 months, which it shouldn't be, but if it does, then I'm okay with that, because I know I'm going to feel great mentally the whole time. So it's not like a one or the other kind of thing anymore.
Right. Yeah, you're not suffering.
Right.
You're enjoying it, and it's not hard. So that's awesome. I feel for these people that are struggling trying to diet, and they don't have a clue. They're eating small amounts, but they're still eating carbs, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know how they do it. That's rough.
Right. Like, they must be starving all the time.
Starving, and oh my, it's just torture. So,
Right.
well, thank you so much. I appreciated your time, and I think we have a great interaction. So, all right, well, have a nice day, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.